All right. I don't need to go to the very middle of the board. I'm just going to assume that everything's flat. And if it's not, because we're going to mill it down 1 millimeter, well, it will get to being flat. One of the things that I like to do as a trick, you can do the standard sticky note paper. However, because of this light in the back, I find that because we're working on wood and we're working on setting up our parameters, if I just look for the tip to touch the shadow, I'm pretty much close to being 0. So I use that light, and then I look at my perspective down here, and I'm pretty darn close to being at 0. So then I'll go ahead and set that at 0Z for my first reference, and then I'll continue working on the rest of that. Now let me explain what I've got set up here. I have my end mill down, and I have eyeballed it to the center. There's a little bit of a nub based on how that single flute is set up, and I've got that right over the edge. Now you may say, but you know what, that's not very a machinist accurate. I totally agree. However, because we are going to be milling over here, I don't have to find this reference point again. It will remember G54, even if I shut the machine down and come back tomorrow. I can come back and double check it, and it will keep in memory that G54. Is that a good practice? No. But for students, especially in terms of the work coming back to, we're working with a piece of wood, we're doing all of our milling out here. This is our first and only reference point for all the work that we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and eyeball it for X, and I'm going to eyeball it for Y. Yes, I can put it against the edge and use the paper method. That's totally satisfactory. But I think for simplicity, sometimes if we get students to really think about, are you observing everything in detail? Sometimes that's the most critical skill for students to learn. Can you critically look at things and see problems before anything ever is turned on? So that will be one thing that'll be helpful, hopefully, for them to be practicing, looking at, and then when we come back and we touch the edge or we feel the edge, that's going to be another indicator of feedback. Is this accurate? Is this not accurate? I'm going to go ahead and finish setting this up. All right, I've checked my computer screen. I've got my facing ready to be loaded and up for our first process. I have no status or any concerns, basically no yellow buttons, and I'm going to be ready to run this. Now, I could go ahead and start the machine at the very back, if you will, the end mill at the very back of it. It really doesn't matter. I have everything up in terms of Z-axis. I did a G30, so I'm clear, ready to rock and roll, and it already knows where it is going to be running. So let's go ahead and get this started. Again, I'm going to set my feed rate down and cycle start. If I'm worried, I can do single block. So here's what that will look like. As I click through, so now I have the spindle on. That looks like a great starting point, especially when I view the lines. I'm going to go ahead and take my speed up. I'll just do it about 75%. We're going to go ahead and turn off single block. That looks to be good. I'm going to go ahead 100%. So that's full engagement. It didn't bog down hardly at all. Maybe a little bit of vibration. I'm going to go ahead and speed that up a little bit because that was at 500. We're going to take it up to 650. Chips look a little bit bigger. They're slightly larger if I look down here along the edge. And I believe we could probably go just a little bit faster, so let's take it up to 700. And again, that's not a full width engagement of 4 millimeters. It is roughly the 1 millimeter. So I'm going to let this run.